Hello dear friends and my dear students, welcome back to Top Lesson for you. Dear students, as you know, we are recording about the blood supply of the upper limb, right? So in the previous 4 lectures I have recorded about the subclavian artery, right? And then I recorded the branches and about the axillary artery, right? You can see and watch those lectures. If you want to understand about the blood supply of the upper limb, so you should be clear that we should know the supply of the upper limb from the origin point, right? And that is the subclavian artery, right? This is the brachiocephalic artery. This is the right common carotid artery, and this is our subclavian artery, right? I have discussed all these branches in a big detail. You can go and watch those lectures regarding the subclavian artery, right? And then after that we have recorded about the axillary artery and its branches, and now we are going to discuss about the brachial artery, which is the main artery which begins and supplies the blood to the upper limb, right? So let's discuss about this artery in a little bit detail, right? Dear friends, what is brachial artery? So the upper limb is mainly supplied by brachial artery, right? So brachial artery is the artery. It is a branch of, look, it is the, not we can't say it's a branch. It is the continuation of what? Axillary artery. You can see from here up to here, this artery is known as auxiliary artery. Axillary artery. Right, dear friends, this is axillary artery. Now look carefully. This here is a muscle. Muscles are not green, but for understanding, we have drawn it in a green color. This is a muscle which is called the teres major muscle. Teres major muscle, right? So on the lateral border of this teres major muscle, look, this is its lateral border and this is its medial border, right? So on the lateral border, at the level of lateral border of this teres major muscle, here is the continuation of this axillary artery, and this artery is known as the brachial artery, right? Okay, so brachial artery begins at the lateral border, or we can say the inferior border, right? The inferior border of this teres major muscle, right? What is brachial artery? It is the artery, the main artery which supplies blood to upper limb. Let me write here, main artery which supply oxygenated blood, right, to upper limb, right? It is the main artery. Now, what does happen? Look carefully. This artery originates, this artery is the continuation of axillary artery at the inferior border of this teres major muscle. Now what happens? It comes inferiorly and spirals around the, look, it comes inferiorly and spirals like this on the humerus bone and comes down and bifurcates below the distal to the elbow joint, right, into radial artery and ulnar artery, right? So we will see all these branches, and what I have meant by this diagram, I will clearly show you guys everything. So be with us, don't go anywhere to learn about the blood supply of the upper limb. Now from where does it arise? What is the origin of this artery, right? From where does this artery arise? So this artery arises from axillary artery. I have told you here, from axillary artery, the first thing, okay, and then we say at the level of inferior border, at the level of inferior border of this teres major muscle, at level of inferior border of teres major muscle, right? It's big thing we learned. Then we say, where does it ends? where does this artery ends? What is the end point? And this artery ends at the neck of radius. Look here. This is our radius, right? And this is its neck. You can see here. Now this artery from here up to here, this whole artery is our brachial artery. Now you can see here it bifurcates into two arteries at the level of neck of the radius, 1 centimeter distal to the elbow joint, right? So we say here, where does it ends? It ends at the neck of radius. Okay, it ends at the neck of radius bone 1 centimeter distal to elbow joint, right? This is its end point. Once again, look carefully. It begins at the inferior border of teres major muscle and comes down and spirals like this, comes interiorly and ends at the level of neck of radius bone 1 centimeter distal or below the elbow joint. Very good, friends. What is its length? What is the length of this artery? So the length of this artery is about 23.39 centimeter, right? This is length from here, up to the bifurcation point. I've drawn it a little better, but our arms is not bigger like this, right? So its length is about 23.39 centimeter of the bifurcation point. And what is its diameter? What is the diameter of this artery? So look, the diameter will be counted at three different regions: at the beginning, or we say at the proximal end, at the middle, and at the bifurcation point, right? So at the proximal end, let me write here proximally. At the proximal level, its diameter is about 6.92 millimeters. 6.92 millimeters. It has a little larger diameter at the origin point, right? Then at the middle point, what is its diameter? So here its diameter is about 5.34 millimeters, right? And at the bifurcation point here, friends, here it becomes a little larger. So its diameter at bifurcation point, its diameter is about 5.59 millimeters, right? This is its diameter. Now we move forward and see what are the branches which arise from this brachial artery, right? So we say branches. I'm sorry about my markers, right? So I hope you can see clearly this. What are the branches which arise from the brachial artery? So look carefully, dear friends. You have to understand it easily. I will tell you, I will show you, and I will label all these arteries so that you could easily understand all these arteries, all these branches which arise from this brachial artery. So don't worry about this diagram, it's very easy. Look carefully. This is our brachial artery. So the first branch which arises from it, it goes spirally and up to here, then it goes posterior to, look carefully, it arises from here and it goes like this, and posterior to the humerus bone, it divides into two arteries, right? Look carefully. It is coming like this and it is giving two branches. The first branch is, look, I have drawn two types of arteries. These are drawn darkly and these have been drawn in dotted manner, so that you understand that these arteries are anterior and these dotted line arteries are posterior, right? Now look carefully. This is our profunda brachii artery or deep artery of the arm, the first artery. The first branch of brachial artery, look carefully, it spirals and goes back posterior to the humerus bone. This is our humerus bone, and then it gives off two branches. This is the one branch and this is the second branch, right? Then it gives also another artery here, and this is the deltoid artery. So first of all, let's see these branches and let's name these branches, right? So the first artery which we see here, this one, this is our profunda brachii. Profunda brachii. Profunda means nothing but deep, right? So I will write it also. It is the deep artery of arm, right? What does it do? It spirals back posterior to this humerus bone. Look carefully. It comes laterally, and here it gives off two branches. One branch comes to the radius side and the other is the middle collateral artery, right? So let's name these arteries. Let me first name this artery, this branch. This is the deltoid branch. Deltoid artery. Okay, very good. So from this, when this profunda brachii artery goes back, it gives off deltoid artery, then it gives another branch, and this branch, as we all know, is called the radial collateral artery. This is our radial collateral artery. It's quite easy. Radial collateral artery. Look, it comes like this, a little bit anteriorly, like this, a little bit anteriorly. That's why I have drawn it a little bit darker, right? Then this artery, which is posterior to humerus bone, and this artery is called the middle collateral artery, right? This is our middle collateral artery. Very good. Now look, we will see these branches going down, and they are making many anastomoses here in small branches. I will tell you all those branches, don't worry. So these were the branches of the profunda brachii. Now we leave it here. We will come back to them. We will see these branches, this branch. What is this branch and what is this branch, right? So distal to profunda brachii, there is another branch which is a little bit deeper, and posterior, and this branch is called the superior ulnar collateral artery, right? This is our superior ulnar. It's coming towards the ulnar bone. That's why we say superior ulnar collateral artery, right? Okay, now come down a little bit. Look here. Here is another artery bifurcating, separating from this brachial artery, right? And this artery is called the inferior ulnar collateral artery. This is inferior ulnar collateral artery. Okay. Look, deltoid branch, radial collateral artery, middle collateral artery, which is shown in dotted line. It means that it is present posteriorly, right? Then from brachial artery, inferior or distal to this profunda brachii, here is a branch separating, and it's a little bit posterior. That's why we have shown it in dotted line, this superior ulnar collateral artery, and then from this point near to the elbow joint, right, or humerus